Hello from Oban, and I am taking the bus up to Inverness with Ember. It's a journey of 110 miles if my use of Google Maps has proved accurate. So it'll take 3 hours 18 minutes, but perhaps the most surprising thing about the journey is how much it cost me. So why don't you come along and we'll see how it goes. Here's an overview of today's route. I'm on the 1534 service due to arrive in Inverness at 1852. And the coach for today is this YUTONG TCE 12. The YUTONG TCE 12 has a range of 200 miles, so absolutely no need for any range anxiety on today's service. Five miles northeast of Oban, we used the Connell Bridge to cross the mouth of Loch Etive. When completed in 1903, the Connell Bridge was the second longest cantilever and suspended span bridge in Europe, surpassed only by the fourth bridge built in 1890. Ember operates 3 services a day between Oban and Inverness, and as the weather closes in, let me tell you how much I paid for my journey today. I paid the grand sum of £2. That's right, Oban to Inverness for £2. Why? It's because the Scottish Government has introduced the £2 bus fare cap pilot. This operates in Shetland, the Western Isles, Orkney, Highland, Moray and Argyll and Bute, excluding Helensburgh and Loch Lomond, as part of a 12-month pilot scheme. The trial is due to run out on March the 22nd, 2027. It has a fixed budget, so if the money runs out, then the trial will end and fares will revert to the level before the cap. Meantime, here's what I think of the weather. As we continue our journey on the A828, we get a glance of the 14th century Castle Stalker. And let's have a little look around the seat, and as you'd expect, you've got the lovely comfy leather effect seats, USB charging points and a tray table, which is all fine, and you've got this net for holding your stuff along with a sick bag if you get motion sickness, and the legroom is generally very good. One thing I would note, and I've noted this a little bit more on Ember coach services that I've used, this is completely unacceptable. That has not been cleaned and I don't know how long. Still, at least the rain stopped. A little bit more on the £2 bus fare cap pilot scheme. If part of your journey is within the fare cap area, the portion of the fare within that area will be capped at £2, and then you'll pay the normal fare for the rest of the journey. So there's no need to apply and no requirement to live locally to benefit from this £2 pilot scheme. Just board a participating bus service and pay. Now it's worth bearing in mind that some operators such as CityLink, Ember, Stagecoach and West Coast Motors will provide services where only part of the journey is within the pilot scheme. So if you're not sure if your journey is included, check with those operators, and I think with the likes of those companies it's always worth booking in advance. As we get closer to Fort William, we cross the Ballachulish Bridge, which opened in 1975, replacing the ferry service across the Patrick's Narrows between Loch Leven and Loch Linney. And at Corran Ferry, there's plenty of evidence of the Corran Ferry Infrastructure Improvement Scheme. This new infrastructure is designed to accommodate the existing ferry MV Corrin, the future electric vessel which it's going to be replaced with, and also to be compatible with Calmac's Ro-Ro ferries used across the west coast of Scotland. And 1 hour 27 minutes after leaving Oban, we're arriving at the bus station at Fort William. A few passengers joined the service at Fort William, but it's not too long before we're on our way again, and we're heading up the A82 to Inverness. Heading north up the Great Glen, we come to Loch Lochy, which comes from the Scottish Gaelic meaning Loch of the Dark Water or Loch of the Dark Goddess, and there was me thinking they'd just run out of ideas for names. The loch has a mean depth of 70 metres, making it the third deepest loch in Scotland. And the intriguingly named Battle of the Shirts was a clan battle that took place here in 1544 at the northern end of the loch. Apparently the day was so hot that both sides took off their chainmail hauberks and plaids and fought in their shirts. Of course, with all these things there is a little bit of myth and mystery thrown in. In the distance we can see the remains of the Invergarry and Fort Augustus Railway, which connected those two towns with the main line at Spain Bridge. It opened in 1903 and was never really commercially successful. The line closed completely in 1946. Fort Augustus is home to a staircase system of 5 locks on the Caledonian Canal, and the short river Oich drains here into Loch Ness. If you'd like more in-depth info on the section from Fort William to Inverness, I'll put a link to a journey I took with CityLink that covers that. Something that was very impressive was the onboard Wi-Fi that was provided by Ember. It worked really well and allowed me to watch Northern Ireland beat Guinea in this non-World Cup warm-up match. And just like that, we're arriving in Inverness. If you hang on for a little bit longer, you can get my thoughts on the journey and the Ember experience. I think you know what I'm going to be most impressed about. That's right, £2. If you've got this far, why not consider subscribing to the channel? Thanks to everyone who has done so and to everyone who leaves a comment, a like. even a dislike. It does help me to keep the channel growing and moving forward. And there's this new hype thing that you can do as well if you're so inclined. But anyway, hang tight and you can get my thoughts in a moment. It's the Ember Empire. So here I am back in Inverness. What do you think of that? Oban to Inverness, £2. You cannot argue with that. Tremendous value for money. The scheme is due to last for 12 months or when the money runs out, whichever comes first. So in the meantime, I'm going to fill my boots and do plenty more of these £2 bus journeys around the Highlands and Islands. And if you've watched the previous video where I went to the Isle of Mull, that's been a day where I've gone from Inverness to the Isle of Mull and back for less than £14. £13.80 all in from Inverness to Mull and back. That's a good day out, isn't it? Anyway, hopefully there's more to come. Thank you so much for watching. Thanks for coming along. Thank you for all your support, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye.